The Canadian Rockies are one of the most magical places on Earth, and this is part 2 of my 2-part series exploring the very best that they have to offer. Last week's episode was focused on Jasper National Park, from taking the SkyTram to the top of town for some amazing perspectives of everything that I was about to explore, from one of the only lakes that you can fish in to one of the most photogenic, and feeling the raw power of its most powerful waterfall, an abundance of wildlife, all while making the most famous hotel in the Northern Rockies my home for this portion of the trip. But this episode is all about Banff, from riding over a glacier in a Mars rover to some of the most breathtaking spectacles in the Southern Rockies, from staying at a 5-star castle to taking in all of it from above. This is the best of Banff. This video is sponsored by PaleoValley. Let's begin. So this journey has been curated for me by a company called Alberta Blue Sky Tours. They're essentially the pros of the Canadian Rockies, and my vessel to experience the absolute best that the Rockies have to offer. And we picked things up about halfway between Jasper and Lake Louise, along the Icefields Parkway en route to Banff for later tonight. And the Icefields Parkway is a 230-kilometer stretch of highway carved alongside soaring rocky peaks, ice fields, a whole variety of wildlife, and sweeping valleys, and this is widely known as the most scenic drive in Canada. Our first stop of the day is actually something that I've been very curious to see up close and personal for quite some time. Okay, so there's many tours in the Canadian Rockies, paid attractions, lots of things you can do, but the Columbia Icefields right over here, they have a little rover that takes you all the way up the glacier. I think you can drink some of the water, which, to be honest, I wouldn't mind. This is the center. I've never done this before, but this is going to be cool. So I'd head inside and grab my ticket and head back out to board the tour bus that will be taking us to the rover that will transport us on top of the glacier. And this is the rover. This is a custom-built Mercedes-Benz. To be honest, I didn't think I'd be riding in a Benz today, but hey, here we are. And this monster can actually maintain traction at over 35 degrees of incline or decline. And to give you some context, the steepest grade on the Trans-Canada Highway is 4.5 degrees, specifically just outside of Field, BC, but this rover can climb over 7 times that grade. Pretty impressive. And after about a 10-minute drive on the rover, we would arrive at the Athabasca Glacier, and the glacier is surrounded by gorgeous Rocky Mountain peaks. But the glacier itself is about 6 kilometers long, but we're only standing on a fraction of it. Over the last 100 years, it's actually retreated about 1.5 kilometers and lost over half of its volume. And the experts believe that it will disappear completely in about 50 to 60 years. So I'd say it's pretty cool to experience such a rare and temporary piece on the planet. And after about 30 minutes of exploring the glacier, we climb back on board the rover and head back to the ice center to carry on our journey to Banff for later tonight. By early evening, we'd arrive in Banff, and my home for the next 2 nights, the Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel. Now, I did a full video on Banff's castle last year, so if you want to learn all about that and its history, I have a video just for you after this one. Needless to say, this property is stunning, and it's actually the sole reason that Banff exists today. Built by the Canadian Pacific Railway over 100 years ago, it truly is a masterpiece in every way possible. The next morning, the tour started things off bright and early, and we'd head down to Vermilion Lakes, which is marked by the jagged silhouette of Mount Rundle dominating the skyline. And Rundle isn't just a single peak, it's actually a chain of 7 distinct summits stretching over 12 kilometers back from here in Banff on the west end of the mountain all the way to the east end in Canmore. And after that, we'd head back into town and make a quick pit stop at the Banff train station. And listen, it absolutely breaks my heart that a long-distance train has not serviced this gorgeous station since 1990, but the station still remains intact, and it has a really cool, small tribute to its past inside. And fun fact for you, believe it or not, this station's original design was actually sketched by the Canadian Pacific general manager at the time, Cornelius Van Horn, on a napkin on his lunch break. This is a true story, by the way. I can't confirm or deny if the Canadian National copied them when you compare Banff Station to Jasper Station, but anyway, I'll let you comment in the comment section below what you think. Our next stop was one of Banff's signature experiences, and that is the Banff Gondola, which was actually the first gondola in Canada when it opened in 1959. I'd head inside and begin my ascent to the top of Banff. From the top, you can see everything. From the Bow Valley stretching west towards Lake Louise, the entire Banff town site, and the train station that we were just at less than an hour ago. You can also see Cascade Mountain stealing the spotlight, towering over everything, and even Tunnel Mountain, which was actually named for the tunnel that the Canadian Pacific thought that they had to blast through to continue their route west, but instead realized they could just go around it and make life a lot simpler. And let's not forget about Lake Minnewanka, glistening off in the distance. The gondola sits here atop Sulphur Mountain, which you can see very clearly from the top of Tunnel Mountain that I've hiked a few times before. But I really don't have the words to describe just how magical it is up here, especially on a gorgeous day like today, taking in the dramatic power of the towering peaks that surround us, the Bow Valley below, and the town of Banff that sits within it. To be honest with you, I probably could have stayed up here all day long just taking it in, especially on a beautiful day like today. And after about 2 hours, I head back down and get into the Alberta Blue Skies tour van for the next portion of the tour, but I'll be honest, my stomach was rumbling, which is a good thing I packed PaleoValley beef and pork sticks, today's video sponsor. PaleoValley makes nutrient-dense, protein-packed snacks that I love without any of the weird shit companies are putting in our foods today. No preservatives, no added sugars, spices that are pesticide and herbicide free, and my favorite, no soy. I've been eating PaleoValley beef and pork sticks for about a year now, and they are so good. They're not oily, they're not gristly or tough like beef jerky you get at the gas station. They actually got a really nice snap on them, and they put a smile on my face every time I put them in my mouth. Like, I'm talking 100% grass-fed beef sticks sourced from small-scale family farms, not factory farms, high quality protein that keeps you fuller for longer. And if you're road tripping, hiking, or just want to stop eating overpriced crap at the gas station, or need a snack on the train this summer, I got you. I'm going to get you 15% off when you click the first link in the video description. You just click that and you'll automatically get 15% off a top shelf snack. And with a 60-day money-back guarantee, try it and you don't like it, they will give you your money back. There's no excuses. This is a no-brainer. PaleoValley is my go-to, whether it's on the train, on the road, or anywhere in between. Level up your next road trip or summer vacation with PaleoValley, and thank you to them for sponsoring this video and making this series possible. We'd stop by the Bull Falls, which sits directly below the Fairmont Banff Springs, before driving towards the top of Mount Norquay for an incredible perspective of the town site, which I'd actually never seen before today. And from here, we take off down the Trans-Canada Highway heading just west of Field, BC, towards Emerald Lake, which is a gorgeous waterway. And believe it or not, originally Lake Louise was named Emerald Lake in honor of its emerald color, but when they discovered this lake, they decided to switch it up, and instead Lake Louise was named in honor of Queen Victoria's daughter. And after Emerald Lake, we would make our final stop of the day just east of Field, BC, and one of my personal favorites, the Spiral Tunnels. When the Canadian Pacific Railway built their transcontinental route, engineers were restricted to a maximum 2% grade, but the only way for them to conquer the Kicking Horse Pass near Field was a 4.4% grade down the Big Hill. And to give you some perspective of the Big Hill, the first train to ever attempt going down it derailed and killed the entire crew in the valley below. Now, the trains would run this route from 1886 until 1909. That was until the spiral tunnels were completed, which were a pair of massive figure-8 looping tracks blasted through two mountains and would reduce the grade from 4.4% to a manageable 2%. And there's not a lot of trains that do come through here, but today we were super lucky. And although the trees do obscure much of the view, if you time it right like we did today, you can actually watch a single train looping back over itself, with the front exiting the lower tunnel, while the tail end still waits to enter the upper tunnel. So essentially you'll see the train double back over itself twice, right as you see here. And the fact that these trains do not derail, despite how some of them can be upwards of 2 kilometers in length, while still handling the aggressive curves of the tunnel, it's seriously an engineering marvel. And the road that we are actually following down the Trans-Canada Highway into town, which goes from Calgary to Vancouver, is actually paved over the original Big Hill. So when you drive through here, you're actually driving on the original railway route of the Canadian Pacific. At least for a portion of it, that is. From here, we'd head back to Banff, where I'd spend one last night inside the Springs Hotel before making our way towards Calgary. And that's where next week's episode will pick up with one of the best kept secrets in Calgary, the Calgary Tower. From its strong ties to the Canadian Pacific Railway, to the passenger station below, the scenery that surrounds it, and a phenomenal dining experience. All of this and more in next week's episode, so hit the subscribe button so you don't miss that, or any other episodes in the Best Kept Secrets of Canada series coming up. I want to say thank you so much to PaleoValley for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you for watching. And I'll see you next week here in Calgary at the Tower. I'll see you then.